There was one aspect of Star Wars The Last Jedi that I personally felt was missing, and that all had to do with Jedi lore. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, going into Episode 9, we do know that J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio are going to be doing amazing things when it comes to combining all 9 movies into one big movie, as well as involving a lot of elements from the EU and Star Wars Legends. So this movie is really going to cater to pretty much all Star Wars fans. If you're into the movies, the video games, the animated series, the comics, the novels, and the books, it's really going to be a movie that has a lot of content in it. And a lot of people are debating on whether or not that's a good or bad thing. Now, looking past all this, I wanted to focus in on the character of Luke Skywalker and the red kyber crystal that we got a glimpse of in Star Wars The Last Jedi. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set designs, the set leaks, the concept art, and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which specifically has all to do with Luke, Rey, and the Sith kyber crystal. Specifically, a description of Luke Skywalker in front of Rey on a jungle world, near a cliff that may or may not be the planet Batuu. In front of Rey, Luke has his hand raised with a kyber crystal, floating above the palm of his hand. The crystal is red, just like the one seen in The Last Jedi. However, it could be a different one. Though the one in The Last Jedi was a fragment, this is a full red kyber crystal that appears to have once belonged to an ancient Sith. Rey is meditating on a boulder as the kyber crystal floats towards her, as it then falls into the palm of her hand. This could be Luke's final lesson of constructing a lightsaber of her own in Episode 9. And that is an interesting subject for sure. How she's going to construct her own lightsaber in this movie. Now, I would like to believe that this is most definitely a lesson in which Luke Skywalker is teaching her how to insert kyber crystals into the actual lightsaber hilt itself and constructing her very own lightsaber. Now that to me would be the proper way of Rey developing a lightsaber of her own, is to have guidance by Luke Skywalker either in the form of a Force ghost or his voice reaching out to her. That I feel like is the proper thing to do. Will they actually show that on screen? That's a question for sure. But as far as this kyber crystal goes, what's the significance of it, right? What's the actual reason as to why Luke is giving her this red crystal? Well, you know, we have been hearing about all these different concept art and storyboard descriptions of Rey's new lightsaber, of one of which being a combination of both red and blue, either blue and green. There's a lot of different ideas that Disney and Lucasfilm are apparently toying with right now. So it could be that maybe she's going to develop a double-bladed lightsaber where she uses this mysterious red crystal and inserts it into the hilt, and one side is red and one side is blue, for example, symbolizing between both light and dark balance. And that's a very interesting way to go. That was one original idea from The Force Awakens for Kylo Ren, by the way, that did not make it into the movie. Now, with Episode 9, Luke Skywalker owning a Sith kyber crystal, it's pretty much safe to say that this could absolutely be a different one. If you look at the one in The Last Jedi, we can clearly see that it's a kyber crystal fragment, not a full crystal. In this description, Luke Skywalker actually is giving Rey a full red kyber crystal. So exactly where do they find actual red kyber crystals? We do know that in the Disney canon, apparently the colors change based on how you're associated with the Force or something like that. So even the one that Luke has inside of his hut, that's a big question for sure as to exactly why it's red. Now, that crystal actually was from the Old Republic era, because it says in the Last Jedi Visual Dictionary that it's from the Jedi Crusaders. And if you guys know about the Jedi Crusaders and Legends, well, Darth Revan is the one who was a part of the Jedi Crusaders. So that was not only a hint that the Old Republic is coming our way, but it's also yet another hint that we're going to have a canonized version of that timeline under Disney. So with Episode 9, really trying to connect everything when it comes to Jedi and Sith lore, kyber crystals and developing a lightsaber. I think it's amazing. I think it's magical, as, you know, Billy Lord has said, that this movie's going to be magical. Now, of course, I know actors are supposed to say that, and they're going to say what they have to say for their movie that they're working on, but I do have full faith in JJ, for one reason. I felt that The Force Awakens was a more entertaining movie than The Last Jedi. I felt that it had more substance to it. I felt like that it was a rather exciting film. Well, because it was the first film in the trilogy, right? It was really setting everything up. There were all these questions that were left unanswered, and it left a lot of people just wondering exactly what was going to happen in Episode 8, and things turned out to be so different. That's why people had an issue with that, especially with the character of Luke. So Luke being associated with Sith lore, to me, I think is amazing, and how he's going to pass that knowledge on to Rey is another story for sure. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon.